Jessica Rothe. Holy hell does she commit. She is the standout besides Skarsgaard. Hello my Epictastic family, welcome back to my channel, Epictastic Joshua. My name is Joshua Drake. I talk movies, TV, and on a few occasions, music and anime. I do anything related to those. This is going to be my thoughts on a 2024 movie that has gone sadly unnoticed already. Boy Kills World. This is an action comedy thriller which was released in 2023 at film festivals, but we didn't get to see it until now. This is directed by Moritz Marr in his directorial debut, written by Tyler Burton Smith and Oren Remmers. This stars Bill Skarsgaard, Jessica Rothe, Famke Johnson, Isaiah Mustafa, Brett Gelman, Andrew Koji, Michelle Dockery, Charlton Copley, and the voice of H. John Benjamin. A campaign avenges enacted by a martial arts expert who's rendered deaf-mute by an attack that killed his entire family, whose thoughts are presented as an inner voice derived from a childhood video game. So Boy sets out to get justice and avenge his family's murder, guided by his sister's mischievous spirit, and he uncovers a stunning revelation after another as he barreled towards Hilda, with the help of June 27. I was actually looking forward to seeing this because I actually thought this could be something a little interesting. I heard the premise and I immediately saw that Sam Raimi was producing. I saw the cast, and then it was originally going to be Samara Weaving in this, but she had scheduling conflicts. I heard the rest of the cast. I became very interested to see it. Jessica Rothe was going to take part in this, which I was very curious to see how she would do for a movie like this. And then this movie got tossed aside. It got acquired for theatrical release by Lionsgate and Roadshow Attractions. Unfortunately, this movie is not out making the most money, and no one has actually even given this the time of day. And that's why I'm going to tell you why I feel like this should be worth your time. This movie deserves way better than this is getting right now. The big problem with this movie, for one, is that this movie was not either marketed enough by the studio, or the studio, who only chose to give this one trailer, completely failed to sell people on this and just gave them another trailer. I bet if this was in the hands of a better studio or something, or they just marketed this movie a little harder, more people would have talked about this.
Yeah, okay. BAM! What?
As for my thoughts, this is one bloody, soaked, crazy bloodbath of action with a mix of The Raid, The Running Man, John Wick, and The Hunger Games wrapped up in one. This is not going to be everyone's cup of tea, so I will say this right now. If you are someone who is going to be annoyed by a voice talking in his thoughts, you may not want to watch this movie. Starting off with the positives here, I will say the action in this movie. This is a first-time director, Moritz Marr. We've been seeing some first-time directors lately, between this and Dev Patel and many others over this decade. And in this here, his action sequences are very well shot here. They're bloody, they're well choreographed, it's carnage candy galore, so it is not a movie for the kiddos at all. This is hardcore R. This is like with Shoot 'em Up years ago with the violence. It is over the top, it's violent, it's brutal. There's some crazy camera trickery that makes you feel like you're watching an R-rated anime with a lot of vibrant colors and competent cinematography. And it's lots of bloody, good carnage candy violence. So the violence is on screen. You seeing exactly what you finna see. Get some good carnage candy, some good brutality, and it is all better for it. I love the violence in this movie. I love the brutality of it all. And this movie just says, we don't give a we're gonna be brutal, we're gonna be hardcore to the max, and we're gonna give you action junkies what you're coming to see. The movie is very well edited in terms of film editing and also the sound design and such. That is really good here, but also soundtrack choices and musical score are also really well competent. So you definitely can give credit to what they're going for in terms of that. I really enjoyed that side of things. It actually made this a lot of more entertaining than I thought it was going to be. And it made it for a fun time. So I actually really quite enjoyed a lot of what this movie had to offer in terms of that. Story here is not the most original here. It has been familiar and has been done multiple times before, and we're going to see it many times again, which I think that criticism is very immature in the world of film criticism. Yes, some familiar story beats has been done before, but it's the execution that matters. You can have a good idea on paper if you want, but if not executed right, you ain't got nothing. And I think it does enough to make it all worthwhile in the execution for it to stand on its own, and it works as its own little original small action film. It's not too long for 115 minutes. It keeps you straight in and keeps you straight out. So it's very competently handled. So I actually really enjoyed that. I will also say I definitely really enjoyed the filmmaking here. The filmmaking here is on display. It's not a $200 million budget. It is a small little micro budget. And even with the micro budgeted movies, it shows that you can still do as much as you want with the budget you have. Acting wise, everyone does a good job here. Bill Skarsgard. This is one of the many kids of Stellan Skarsgard, and he does a really good job in this movie. I definitely really enjoyed him. He doesn't have a lot of dialogue here, but he has to use his facial expressions and his eyes and his fight choreography, and he's really damn good here. So he really does make out a lot to what he can do. The voice of him is H. John Benjamin. He does good work here, and I actually thought the voiceover was funny and it was entertaining. So I definitely really enjoyed that. The rest of the cast here is pretty good for the most part. You got Sharlto Copley here, Isaiah Mustafa, Andrew Koji from Bullet Train, Yahya Ruthian, Famke Johnson, who is still as beautiful as ever. I grew up with Famke Johnson with the X-Men and I Spy and such. It's good to see her in a movie as always. This is a much better redemption story than whatever the hell that last movie was with Knights of the Republic. It is not very interesting there. So I will say it's good that she got some much needed redemption. She does pretty good here for the character that is required here. And she makes it interesting. She is the matriarch of the Van Der Koy family. And I thought she was pretty competent, who sends these people to kill boy. We have to talk about the standout here, because I haven't mentioned her yet. Jessica Rothe. Holy hell does she commit.
I can explain.
She is the standout besides Skarsgård. I was really impressed by her. I'm just happy to see that Jessica Rothe is getting more work. And she's still very underrated as hell too. Shit. Hopefully she gets to finish Happy Death Day trilogy. But here, I'm just amazed to see Jessica Rothe take this. All of my doubts, or whatever doubts I had, are completely gone away. She wears this motorcycle helmet on her head. She has very clothing style to her. She's feminine, she's badass, she does a lot with her physical fight moments and her facial expressions when she's not wearing the mask. And she and Bill Skarsgård had good chemistry. They balance each other off together. It's June 27. She's a fucking badass in this. She's very great. She is physical here. Obviously stunning. Like, come on, it's Jessica Rothe. But here she commits. I want to see Jessica Rothe do more stuff like this outside stuff she does, like comedies or romance such, even stuff like Happy Death Day and La La Land. Even if she never gets to be a box office superhero franchise character as such, I think Jessica Rothe, she just commits to anything she does. Put Jessica Rothe in more stuff, I ain't gonna complain.
Kick-ass.
Yes, definitely. Absolutely. I think it's signed, sealed, and delivered, honey.
Yeah.
Moving on to my small criticisms here, I only have a few. It is familiar, of course, but it's the execution that matters. So that is, I already discussed that. With some of the writing in a few areas where you do know how this is going to go, you do know how this is going to play out, you do know what you're getting yourself into, but I think it's the execution that really matters and really takes it to higher grounds there. Moments where some of the voiceover may not work for most people here, I will give it that. Some of you may be annoyed by the voice of H. John Benjamin from Bob's Burgers and Family Guy. Michelle Dockery. This is an actress I am indifferent on. I don't love her, I don't hate her, I'm just very in the middle with her, and I honestly feel like she's just hams it up to the point of absurdity as the villain. She is, I'm not sure if that was her doing that, I'm not sure if it's the way she's written or the way she was directed, but she just hams it up like it's nobody's business. I give her credit for trying, but I will say it's just a bit much there. But ultimately, I will say, if you have yet to see this awesome kick-ass action movie, I recommend you watch this. This was actually really fun and actually a lot more competent than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was very entertaining, I thought this was awesome, I thought this was very interesting. Definitely watch this. It's not going to be for everyone, but this is one of the more underrated movies you need to check out. It's not going to be for everyone, but I will proclaim this as an underrated gem of 2024. And whether it comes out on streaming or physical media, just enjoy a simple, brutal, bloody action film. And I highly recommend you see this wherever it's playing in theaters. Give this your attention. It's just a shame this should have been marketed better. Well, that's going to do it for the video that you just watched. If you want to see more, my channel icon is up here. If you want to see more content from me, all my social medias are right here in this end card. I will also leave a playlist and a video here for you to see what the channel is about. As always, acknowledge me, stay epictastic, join the Epictasticness, and you guys keep it cool.